Something I plan besides drawing is making a video game. Another childhood dream of mine.
Leave me alone!
Well, let's make a video game. Hey, it's me, JDY, amateur artist, developer and content creator. Last time we learned to draw for 2 whole months, which I still haven't recovered from. But today we start the development of my game. First I need to enlighten you with the vision for the game. I think the first question that comes to mind is why Project SGSI? So the name itself is a satire of real agencies of the world, which is a main factor in the game. SGSI stands for Secret Globe Service of Investigation, essentially the agency the player works for in the game. Yeah, you, the player, are somewhat of an agent, serving the globe, or rather the world in this case, which brings me to the game itself. The game is supposed to be linear with a simple mission structure. Every mission has a target who the player needs to book a vacation for. Totally original, I know. What makes it different is a mission is built like a sandbox. The player only gets a name for a target, but he needs to find clues in the mission to get to his target, or he books a vacation for everyone.
Remember, no rushing.
No scripted scene, no waiting system, no hand holding, and most importantly no rules. You are the agent, you know the target, you have a mission, you finish it. But before you can do that, I still have to finish this game. FYI, because drawing, game design, uni and work can be a little bit much, I do accept help from friends in this project. If I say our game instead of my or whatever, now you at least know why. This devlog focuses on the movement. To keep the fantasy of an unstoppable force, we need a movement that supports that. Movement like in Dying Light. So how the fuck am I supposed to do movement like in Dying Light? Oh, there's a tutorial with everything I need for this devlog and just need to copy and paste it? And maybe modify it a little bit? This could be easier than I thought. It was not easy. The only problem is that the whole tutorial is physics-based, and even though I want cool parkour and climbing, I still think the player should be a character controller. I have more experience with a character controller and also think it's way more reliable. Anyway, I followed the tutorial from Dave and made a physics-based character. Mama and race a hoe? I want the challenge. I definitely didn't try to make my own character controller and wanted to end myself afterwards, leading to me scratching a whole week of programming. The camera script was straightforward. I decided for a first-person point of view to enhance the player's experience. What? I'm just lazy and don't want to do a whole bunch of animations? I would never! We don't need this anymore? Where were we? Oh yeah, cam. I noticed that the camera just moves to the ass of the player for no reason. Don't get me wrong, that it moves for no reason I can expect. But why to the butt? Like, why not out of the body? And you can ignore that the character falls down on its own. I didn't give him the strength to stand yet. After moving the camera out of the body at the beginning, it works fine, but when I play, the camera looks to the ground for no reason. It's annoying, but doesn't destroy the game, so I take care of it later in the development. Let's just create a counter for every time I dodge work. You can guess how high it is in the comments. What? You can guess how high the counter will be in the end of the video. And don't go attached to the look of the character. I will make changes to him mostly because of the camera. So the camera is done for now. I would love to show you how I programmed walking, but but I don't want to, and that's it. We move on. Jumping. What freedom do you have if you can't even jump in peace? The jump works very simple. If you touch the ground and you are pressing space, you jump. And it works just fine. I like the feeling of it. I will probably later build in a cooldown or something like that. But for now, we just add another one to the counter. Walking is not always fast enough. Therefore we need some sprinting. And for silent movement, we also need some sneaking too. I definitely don't just follow the tutorial or something like that. I'm truly independent. Here I implement sprinting. Something you may notice are that the value is different to the tutorial. This is because this is our movement script and we use it as our basis. This of course is not a tutorial, therefore I will move on to the next thing, given that nothing will go how the hell? Like, I just don't get, even if I just follow the tutorial, how does this happen? What have I done wrong to get so many errors? That's why I hate my life. Now we can start building and crouching. For now this makes someone smaller and slower, but with the enemies it was also supposed to make you quieter. Let's just add another one to the counter for this. To try a few things out, I added stairs and slopes to the sample scene. I use Pro Builder like every other personal Unity, but I don't like the way it feels at the current state. Maybe I just need to invest more time into learning it. And now because of the slopes I can implement slope sliding. I am not sure where in the mission I will build them in, but I actually want it to be like a playground where the player doesn't feel limited. In fact, implementing slope sliding was so easy that I even wrote some notes on my own there. Hey, whoa. But of course the player is supposed to slide wherever he wants, so we need a sliding script. just think of a guy in a suit sliding to a gunner like it's normal. No, I shouldn't distract myself. Focus.
Yeah, I want a naan between and fries and chicken.
No,
fries
don't.
and chicken,
I don't
fries
want to
and
be a
chicken.
stereotype. To overview my speed, I put in a speed check, and it works. Right now, because of my stupidity, I couldn't find a good way to assign the buttons for sliding. Meaning you have to hold the sprint button, which is Ctrl left, and the sneak button, shift at the same time. But I will change that for the next devlog. Add another one to the counter. At least everything works. If I can do it right. It is harder than it looks. Something I want to say is that the player doesn't turn with the camera. Maybe the tutorial never intended it, but it kinda bothers me. It isn't a real problem, so I'll also leave it later. Counter. I feel like the list of things I don't want to deal with is becoming longer than the things I actually accomplished in this devlog.
Läuft. Ja, okay.
Am I doing my own sliding sound effects? Man, I'm getting cooked! Technically, I should now implement wall running if you follow the tutorial along. But like, nearly every single first person indie game has wall running. And besides, I don't think we need it for AcidJazz. You are not supposed to sprint through a mission in under 2 minutes. You are supposed to make any sandbox into your own playground, conquer it in your own style, and leave it your mark there. Therefore, there's gonna be no wall running. Time to climb walls like Spider-Man. Before that though, we still have to change a bit about the player. The camera clips too much into objects, the glasses as well, and because the player's not even turning, we don't even need them. Okay, to be able to climb, we need something to climb. So I start to make some little walls and a pillar to climb, and finally I can write a climbing script. The tutorial uses the climbing script like a vertical wall one, meaning you can only ascend the walls for a certain distance or rather a certain amount of time. And well, we don't want that. I want you to climb as long as there is something to climb, even to stop on a wall if you want to. Therefore, this is one of 2 parts where my script is truly different from the tutorial.
I'm sorry, little one. What the fuck?
Essentially, the script needs a way to enter a climb, to climb, which would just be a vertical boost, and to exit the climb. Following the tutorial, this shouldn't be too hard. I said, this shouldn't be too hard! Perfect. Now I can climb high into the sky. Shit, I'm moving like a moth.
Like a moth to a flame. You easy prey.
But I fall, like a lot. The player moves against the wall and then into the sides, which leads to his fall. To fix the problem, the tutorial, and I repeat myself, the tutorial states to make climbing into a state like sprinting. Well, that was the biggest mistake I have done this week. Let me explain. The difference between my climbing script and the tutorial script is that my player climbs without a time limit and he doesn't possess a wall one. Meaning, in this tutorial, you start the climb, but after some time, you fall down. Why is that important, you may ask? Well, the game thinks now climbing is a state, meaning if I climb, I cannot do anything else like walk or sneak. Essentially, if I sprint, I need to touch. If I sprint, I couldn't climb. To sprint, I need to touch the ground. For climbing, I need to face a specific wall. So even if both happen at the same time, this wouldn't be a problem because I could always jump, stopping the sprinting. For example, you know which state doesn't need the ground? Fucking hell! Like, essentially, my player only climbs if a wave sphere hits the wall, but because he still moves into the air, this could mean that for a certain frame the game thinks, oh, he is no longer climbing, he is in the state of the air, meaning everything gets stopped and I fall down, and there's nothing I can do about it. Either my character cannot climb but falls to the side, falling down, or he climbs and he just falls just like this. You may remember the foreshadowing, right? Well, here it is. Not only can the player not climb long enough because it interferes with other states, but also the rotation of the orientation doesn't even work. Maybe I've made a few mistakes without noticing, but one thing is clear, the player never rotated before. This is not a problem, given that the wave sphere that we use to find walls gets shot out of the orientation. In other words, I can only climb the way the orientation is facing. For the next 30-something minutes, I tried to fix both problems, but nothing works. Please keep in mind, I need to work at 9 AM, and this is what I have to deal with tonight, and I'm...
Ich verliere so viel Zeit.
I even built in a timer, which helped for a second, but I noticed that even with a timer, it doesn't keep yourself long enough from the Earth state switch. I can't even remember the last time I felt like this. It didn't matter what I tried, not with a tutorial or with AI. I just couldn't fix the issue. And for a minute I actually thought there's nothing I could do about it. I said to myself while taking a shit after realizing how to fix the problem. No, for real, taking a break gives you most likely the solution to many problems. I don't have footage for it, how I fixed it, so I just shared from the finished product. I don't need climbing to be a state anymore. No, I can climb again without falling because of the air state. Well, about the moving to the side part, I just took the movement on the X and Z axis and turned it to 0. Therefore, no more falling at all, but also no changing of trajectory while climbing, which I can live for now at least. About the player not rotating with the camera, yeah, I just copied the rotation of the orientation and did it to the whole player. Therefore, even if the orientation doesn't rotate on its own, he rotates now with the whole character. This is kinda redundant, but because I don't know what really works, I keep both for now. Redundant means something like twice to work for no reason. Essentially, you're doing things twice, or I tell the computer to do things twice, but he could just do it once and it would still work, but who cares. Now everything works. Sometimes. But yeah, this fixed everything for me. Now I can climb everything that is climbable without problems. Therefore, let's take one off the counter for the rotation and stuff. What? Yeah, I mean, I added the glasses back, and yeah, they interfere with the camera, but like, I counter 5. Now we want to jump off a wall, which actually was easy. It only took like 10 to 15 minutes. I didn't even pay too much attention to the tutorial. And it works perfectly. You can jump from one to the other and back, and now I even waste time just running around like a child.
Literally, es macht viel zu viel Spaß gerade einfach hier rumzuklettern. Ja, ich habe keine Soundeffekte und so weiter, aber ey, funktioniert genauso wie ich mir gedacht habe. Ja, wie gesagt, das wahrscheinlich eher weniger, aber jetzt hält das hier noch.
Now we need to climb some ledges. That was also kinda straightforward. I followed the tutorial and came pretty far. It seems fine. At least to me. I now built a ledge jump, which differs again from the tutorial. Essentially, I use the jump to enter and leave a ledge instead of the movement buttons. Now we can move on to... or we don't move on. I just changed a few values to fix the problem. You may notice the clipping of the camera. Well, I can no longer ignore it. Instead of deleting the glasses once again, I just make them invisible to the player. Matter of fact, I make the whole player invisible. Now the camera no longer clips to walls and interferes with the glasses or the weird body of the player. Okay, now we can move forward. You wanna kill me? I thought I fixed the problem after the 2 times. I guess we're gonna do it one more time. Essentially I just say leaving a ledge won't grant you no more super speed, but entering one will. And now to the jump button, you can climb ledges pretty cool. Through the help of AI, I tried to incorporate movement on the ledges, which worked semi-perfect.
Either perfect or you're not me. There's no gray area.
So as I mentioned, it doesn't really work at the moment. So I used everything I had to fix this coding issue. Used every single cell I have. It works, huh? And
Like a soon-to-be broken man once said, you're either perfect or you're not me.
I wanted the counter. Now I need to show everything I developed over the past week, hence why we created a new test scene named Tryout. So because we are professional game designers, I started with a sketch to help me envision what I need, and I definitely kept to it and didn't just throw it away. Now I started working on the scene. It was a lot harder than it's supposed to be. It's probably because I never studied Pro Builder, huh? I mean, it worked. Put it already on the counter. At least I can show you what the movement of AcidJazz is supposed to be. I wish I could show you more, or some with audio, but
Wanna be rich, I 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 wanna be rich.
I don't want to. And that is the end of it. I hope you now have a feeling of how the movement is supposed to be, and also what I see for the future of this game. I try to use at least a whole week every month just for this game, and sometimes invest a little bit more into it. But don't forget, not only a game design channel. And please don't worry, the game has way more to offer than just movement. The next video will be a drawing video, hopefully at the beginning of September, and somewhat middle of September the next devlog will follow. And if there are any questions about my projects, you can always ask in the comments. And of course, make suggestions about what you want to see, what creative things you want to see from me. But I cannot promise that I will tackle them all on right now. If you haven't seen my last video, those 2 months of torture, please do so. It took a lot of time, and you probably have a great time with it too. This is it for my video. If you enjoyed, like and sub, and I hope we see each other again in a month or something. Oh yeah, you can always follow my socials. Have a nice day.